So welcome everyone. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm really glad that you've taken the time to be part of this virtual conference. What I'd really like to do is introduce myself and then we'll go into our discussion. So my name is Lorraine Allchurch. I'm the lead AHP support worker at the Dudley Group NHS Foundation Trust. I'm also an assistant therapy practitioner and I work clinically in a dual blended role of occupational therapy and physiotherapy. What I'd like to do now is introduce my panel members. So can we start with you, Claire, please? Could you introduce yourself and your role?
Hello, I'm Claire Green. I am a dietetic support worker, also a blended role, where I do admin and support on the ward. My job. What I love about my job is that the diversity in it. Am I actually going right into it, or just talking about myself?
No. Just introduce your name, your role, and your place of work, and then I'll go in and ask the questions. Okay. So don't worry about that. That's fine. Just do your name, role, and where you work, and then I'll ask the questions. So we'll go around and introduce everyone. And Sunny can edit that bit out, I hope.
Okay. Okay, so I'm Claire Green. I work in the dietetics department at Russell Hospital as a support worker.
And next
just before we go on to the next ones, if you're not speaking, if you just keep your mic on mute and then just pop it back on when you want to speak, that just give us a bit of better, cleaner audio. Otherwise, all good.
Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Sunny. Do you want to go on mute and let Louise go next?
Sorry.
Hello, I'm Louise Jones. I'm a lead support worker in the imaging department at Russell Hospital.
Susan, you can go next.
Hello, my name's Susan Stock. I'm an assistant therapy practitioner and I work in the therapy department at Russell Hospital, working with physiotherapists and occupational therapists, and I'm based in the outpatient department dealing with MSK patients.
Thank you, everyone. What I'd like to do now is start with what you love about your role and working here at the Dudley Group. So could you tell us, Claire, what you love about your role here?
Okay, Lorraine, what I love about my job, that's a really big question because there's so much I love about my job. It is a very diverse role. Half the week you'll find me on the wards assessing patients' dietetics needs. I love that meeting the patients, having different work colleagues. No one day is ever the same for me. I work across the hospital. I also work in procurement, doing the stock for the feeds and supplements. I work in the actual department as an admin role, so managing main reception, recruitment, auditing. My job is so varied, it gives me the opportunity to develop my role in lots of different areas. As a support worker, I find this opportunity to be able to go down different paths and be supported fantastic. So that's one of the main things that I love about my job, is the fact that no one day is the same, and I get to meet such a variety of different people, and also my job role can be developed in lots of different areas.
Can you let us know what you love about your job here at Dudley Group?
Yeah, I love my job. I must love my job. I've worked there for 21 years. Yeah, the variety within the imaging department of all the areas. We are one department, but we are kind of branched out into different areas in the imaging department to ultrasound, MRI, CT. The assistants work throughout all these areas, and each area is completely different to one another. But it's all about the patients and their experience within the imaging department, to make their experience, outpatients or inpatients, the best it can be. Many patients are very anxious when they come to us, so it's just supporting them in their time of need for results that they're going to get, the actual kind of experience they get with what they're going through. With MRI, we have a lot of patients who are claustrophobic, and it's getting them through that procedure. We assist with like steroid injections within ultrasound for MSK, getting them through there. They're very anxious about having injections, and just being there to support the patients for whatever they need within the imaging department, and making the experience a good one when they're with us in the department.
Thank you, Louise. And you, Susan, next.
Thanks, Lorraine. What I love about my job, I've rejoined the NHS after having a 20-year break due to having children, and I can honestly say it's the best decision I've ever made. I'm now back working in the outpatients department. A lot's changed, but for the good. And my day, as everybody else has said, is different from day to day. The variety is amazing. I love the opportunities that I'm getting to do in the department. The teamwork's fantastic, and it's a very friendly atmosphere, very friendly and professional, obviously. The opportunities that I've got available as well to expand my knowledge and skills are there when I need them, and I will be drawing on those shortly. My day-to-day, as I say, is very busy. Working in the outpatients department, predominantly in I run classes. Those are total knee classes and hip classes. I also work in the hydrotherapy department, where I have my own classes as well. So I do those classes twice a week where I'm actually in the pool, which I find really interesting. And I also work in the reception area and do reception duties as and when they're needed. And I also assist all the therapists in their daily one-to-one patients as well, both occupational and physiotherapists as well. So just briefly, the TKR class is where we see patients 7 to 10 days after their operation, and we get those moving really quickly, doing exercises and hopefully discharging them as soon as possible, as and when their needs arise. And the hip classes as well are virtually the same, but they're 6 weeks after. And I do triage those patients in between the 6 weeks, just to see how they're getting on at home, if they've got any complications, if they need any help and advice, and just to reassure them, they're doing their exercises correctly and everything's okay. On the hydro side, as well as being in the pool, I'm also working at the outside of the pool as well as an assistant outside, and that's managing the booking systems, helping the patients get in and out of the pool, making sure that the area is tidy and clean and safe for patients, and also greeting them, and at the moment taking their temperature and making sure they fill in the COVID screening form. So as I say, every day is different. No 2 days are the same, no 2 weeks are the same, and that's what I really, really enjoy about my job.
Oh, thank you, Susan and Claire and Louise. That's been really great to hear about the variety and what you love about your roles here at the Dudley Group. I've got another question, which I'd just like to sort of go through with you, and that is, what would be your top tips for anybody wanting to have a career as a support worker? So if I go to Claire, what would be your top tip to somebody who wanted to be coming into the NHS and looking for a support worker role as an AHP?
Thank you, Lorraine. I would turn around and say come in with an open mind. I've been with the NHS for the last 5 years, and I originally started as a support worker in theatre. I was there for about 18 months and thoroughly enjoyed that role. I learned so much about that department and how obviously running that the patients come in. due to my personal life, I ended up changing and growing and developing. But this is the wonderful thing about the NHS. It's like an umbrella of jobs that you can just divert. You develop your job role, and it gives you that experience and knowledge to go and work in other departments. I've gone from working in theatre to working in microbiology. Again, love that role. Gained a lot of experience. I learned a lot about myself and what I liked and what I didn't like, areas I wanted to develop and grow in. Now I'm in a dietetics department, and absolutely love this role. It gives me the diversity that suits my personality. I'm allowed to make improvements in a department, and just the diversity of the job itself. It's a blended role of admin and on the wards. So I just say keep an open mind, and what you start with is not likely where you'll end up, and you'll gain a wealth of knowledge and experience along the way.
Oh, thank you, Claire. That's really good advice to give to people. Louise, what would be your top tips for anybody coming in to an AHP support worker career?
I agree with Claire. It opens up a lot of opportunities. You kind of come in at a certain level, and it can be materialised into whatever you want it to be. I love my job. I actually started as a darkroom technician 21 years ago, and then like as things have developed, everything's gone digital. So there was no need for that role no more. So it developed into more of a patient experience and supporting patients. And you can take it to wherever you want to within the hospital, and just going from different areas as an AHP assistant. Or in ours, we can train to be an assistant practitioner, or they support them to do an apprenticeship to become a radiographer. So there is many. It's not just that's the job for life. It can develop onto much more, and it has for many of the assistant workers in the imaging department.
Brilliant, thank you, Louise. And Susan, what would be your top tips for anybody wanting to have a career as an AHP support worker?
My top tip would be to take advantage of any opportunities that you have to build on your skills. And no question is a silly question. You know, just ask questions, take advantage of where you are at the time, take on the opportunities that people give you as well, to be more flexible and to move around the hospital, to learn new skills. And in physiotherapy and occupational therapy, as therapy assistants, you have also got the opportunity to train as a physiotherapist or an occupational therapist as well, if that's something that you are really interested in once joining the role. There are actually ways that you can join the physiotherapists and the occupational therapists in their training through the apprentice skills as well. And just really enjoy your work. It's basic. It is looking after and caring for our community, the people that we look up to, and that's what I love about my job, and that's what I think most people that come into the health service they come in to do. That they come in to look after people, and so, you know, enjoy, take on board what I say, what people teach you, and enjoy it.
Thank you, Susan.
Sorry, I lost it a little bit then.
That's lovely. It's brilliant. It's been really lovely to hear all your different experiences, all your different variety within your roles, and there is such a breadth of variety here at the Dudley Group, and what AHP support workers have opportunities for. So thank you all for sharing that, and I hope you've all enjoyed being part of the panel, and I hope people attending the conference have enjoyed just listening to what opportunities there are available for AHP support workers. And thank you for listening to our panel discussion today.